Start the day with a song and sing the whole day through. Even while you're busy working, do just like the birdies do. Though the day may be long, you never will go wrong. Off key, on key, any old key, just start the day with a song.
December 21st, first day of winter. Nauseating, isn't it? The hard way.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And how about you folks joining in and singing this merry old song? Just follow the bouncing hen fruit.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What
coffee, please.
One coffee. Coming up.
I thought all birds spend the winter in Florida.
Oh, dear. At these prices, who can afford Florida?
Morning.
Good morning, Horace. Good morning to you, Annie.
Good morning.
Hurry up, Annie, hurry up. We've got to get cleaned up for Christmas. Hurry up.
Yeah. My, what a beautiful Christmas tree. Sweep, 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 sweep.
Oh, out of my way, bird. Got to get cleaned up for Christmas. I can't wait for my Christmas stocking.
There.
Horace, hang your stocking up. You're always the last one.
Don't rush me. Don't push me. Santa Claus is not in the chimney.
What's the use? We animals don't have a Santa Claus.
Well, why don't we have a Santa Claus?
I don't know.
Santa Claus is only for children. There is no Santa for animals.
That's right, Annie.
Let's do something about it.
We must make a plan. We must send someone to see Santa Claus.
But who shall we send?
Kitty Cat, she's smart. Besides, she's beautiful, too.
Oh, let me go with you, Kitty.
Annie and Kitty, that's a good choice.
Well, we must hurry. It's
Get
getting
my
late.
muffler. Hurry,
I do.
hurry. Goodbye, Horace dear.
Goodbye, Annie.
Goodbye, Phyllis.
Goodbye, Kitty Cat.
Take care of yourself.
We'll be back soon.
Don't get lost.
And don't catch cold. We'll be thinking of you and waiting for you at home. How big is Santa Claus anyway?
Oh, very big, enormous.
Oh, is our chimney big enough for him?
Well, why don't you look inside and see?
All right, I will.
Well, how is it?
Oh, it's kind of small way up on top.
What shall we do about it?
Well, I
Oh, Felix, look out, the chimney's falling down, Felix, the chimney's falling down, oh, Felix.
Oh,
Felix, my poor Felix. Speak to me, Felix, speak to me. Are you hurt, Felix?
Hurt? Of course not. Just out of breath from blowing the snow out of our chimney.
I'm so tired. My paws ache. My whiskers are freezing. Is it much further?
Courage, Kitty, courage. Be a brave cat.
Do you see anything, Annie?
Yes, yes.
Oh, my. I'm so tired. My good meow. Is it much further?
It's just past the iceberg.
Felix, look at the time. It's getting late.
Oh, where are they? Where are they?
It's such a dark, cold night.
Hurry, Kitty, hurry. Here's Santa. I told you he was just around the corner. He's just filled up his big pack. Oh, hurry, Kitty. Hello, Mr. Santa Claus.
Hello, Mr. Santa Claus.
Welcome, my animal friend.
Oh, Sir, there is no Santa for animals.
That's right, sir. No animal Santa.
I know. That's why you came to see me. Now, Kitty Cat, you can be my animal Santa.
Kitty Cat?
Me, sir?
Why, of course. I've often worried about animals at Christmas time, but I've been so busy with children. Now, Kitty Cat, you can represent me for all animals.
My, what a beautiful costume.
Yes, it sure is. Now you put it on.
Oh, thank you, Annie. Thank you.
That's right.
Oh, Kitty, that hat looks so nice on you.
Now you're a real animal Santa.
Goodbye, Kitty. Goodbye, Santa Claus.
Goodbye, Mr. Santa Claus.
Now here's your pack over here. Remember, give all the animals a present.
Oh, this is wonderful. I'll remember everyone.
It's Annie. Oh, she's back.
Oh, let them inside where it's warm.
Sure. Come
Oh,
on
Annie,
in.
tell us all about
Oh,
it.
where's Kitty Cat?
Where is Kitty Cat,
Now, come on
Annie?
in.
Well, aren't you going to tell us, Annie?
Well,
Come on now, Annie, tell us.
Well.
Tell us all about it.
Santa Claus is coming. You'll have your own Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas, Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas.
Here's a present for you, Annie.
Thank you, Mr. Santa Claus.
And one for you, Horace.
Oh, thank you, Santa.
And for you, Felix.
What's this? A tail?
Yeah.
That's Kitty's tail.
You're not Santa, you're Kitty Cat. But don't worry, I've a present for you. It's a mouse.
Oh, no, Horace. Not on Christmas.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, my whiskers.
Here, Mousy, here's a piece of cheese for you. And a Merry Christmas to you. Why, here's Santa Claus himself. He'll tell you I'm the animal Santa.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Please, Santa, tell them what you said.
Kitty Cat is official Santa Claus for animals always. Well, Merry Christmas and goodbye, good animals.
Merry Christmas to you, Mr.
Thank you
Santa
for the
Claus, and
present.
thank you very much for the
Don't
present.
forget
Yes.
you.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, I'm sorry. I was such a stupid doggy. Felix, let's sing your Christmas song.
Yeah.
You begin it.
There's Santa Claus for you.
There's Santa Claus for me.
With Santa now for animals,
We're happy as can be. We wish you each and every one loads and loads of Christmas fun. Merry
Christmas.
Happy.
Party.
without a home. So, you used to remember this. But if you're a good dog, Santa Claus may leave you a nice present. Ever sleeping fast asleep. That's nice. That keeps you out of trouble, Princey. Throwing those puppies out into the cold. Doggone it, that ain't chintzy. Ah, don't be a schnook. Angel Puss, come down off the cloud. Why should he lose his happy home for them dopes, see? No! Those innocent babes, into the cold you've driven. Go, bring them back, and all will be forgiven. Little puppies, oh God. And they're all so beautiful. They look just like you, Princey. Oh, this is going to be a wonderful Christmas for the children.
was the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced through their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When, out in the woods, there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. And what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old wick, I knew in a moment he must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. No Dasher, no Dancer, no Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dom and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, whoa, they're all. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. A bundle of toys he'd flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. Having finished his task, he spoke not a word, but shouldered his sack and rose like a bird to the top of the chimney and across to his sleigh. Then he stopped and he listened. It was now Christmas Day. He grasped both the reins, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight,
Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night!
Many years ago, before there were any automobiles and before we had electricity or even gas lighting, and when people used horses if they wanted to go out for a ride, and oil lamps and candles if needed a light, there lived in a small country town, yes, a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. With just over a week to go before Christmas, the townspeople were busy indeed. And none more so than the candle maker and his young son, Tom. For in those days, quite small boys were expected to behave like grown men. For years now, every Saturday at 4 o'clock, the candle maker had been making the journey from his shop to the church across the square. Because God had been so good to him and blessed his home and his work, he showed his gratitude by giving his finest candles to shine upon the altar as an offering to God. your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Whenever I read these words of Jesus, I think of one of our own people, our friend the candle maker. Like a good steward, shows his love for God by giving his most beautiful candles to light the cross upon our altar. I pray that all of us will always give in this same spirit, to show our love for the Father, who blessed us with a Christ child. The family was up early next morning, for a busy week lay ahead. The candle maker had to deliver quantities of Christmas candles of all shapes and sizes to the outlying farms and villages.
Hurry up, son.
Coming, Father.
Now. I'm not going away forever. I'll be back on Christmas Eve, in time for service. Look after your mother, son. And there are plenty of candles to be made.
Don't worry, Father.
Don't forget, this week, I'm leaving you to make the second altar candle. I have made only one. And remember, both must be taken over to church by 4 o'clock Saturday.
Yes, Father.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye. Bye, Father.
With his father away and his mother extra busy getting ready for Christmas, young Tom was in charge of the workshop, with the task of turning out many candles a day. And then there was the altar candle for the Christmas Eve service on Saturday. On that Christmas Eve long ago, the church was made beautiful by the loving work of loving hands, just as churches are today. Then, as now, there was a manger where boys and girls would bring the white Christmas offering for the children's home.
Washed up for supper. Your father will be home soon. Tommy, you forgot. Run over quickly now. And be careful you don't drop them.
I'm sorry I was late for the candles, Pastor.
Never mind. You did do it. And just in time, too. Look who's coming.
Well, son, did you make the church candle?
Yes, Father.
Each member of the family had his own sad thoughts that night.
To think that a son of mine should make such a candle, a worthless candle that won't shine, and after all these years.
Young Tom knew what his parents were thinking, that he had failed them, and that he had failed God.
Oh, Squeaky, I'm in such trouble. I have to make the candle all over. I wish I could be made over as easily as the candle. It won't be easy. Jesus will help.
And so it was, many years ago, that the candlemaker's son learned the meaning of Christian stewardship, just as we must learn it today.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. What a fun it is to ride in a horse-open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. What a fun it is to ride in a horse-open sleigh.
Welcome, one and all, to the Little Story Shop, a magic place of stories and toys for girls and boys. Let's go inside now and meet Mr. and Mrs. Little. And here they are, Mr. and Mrs. Little. The children of the town love to come in and listen to their stories and see the toys. Maybe we'll hear a story now.
Do you hear the carolers, Mr. Little? What does that remind you of?
Yes, my dear, I hear the carolers. They remind me of a Christmas some time ago.
Tell us all about it, Mr. Little.
I believe it would be best if Mrs. Little told this story. I seldom talk about myself. Well, not very often, anyway.
All right, sir. I'll tell it. There's a lot to learn in this story about Mr. Little, children. So listen. This story takes us back several years ago, to another time, just before Christmas. And as always, the boys were singing in the street. But things were a little different then. You see, Mr. Little wasn't always the friendly, pleasant gentleman he is today. In fact, he was rough, gruff, and just a little difficult to get along with. Why, he didn't even like the music. In fact, I don't think he liked anyone, which is not a very good way for a toy maker to be.
Why don't they stop that infernal singing?
Well, I frankly didn't know what to do. We were so awfully busy with Christmas so near, and I knew that Mr. Little was afraid he couldn't get all the toys made.
I'd give anything for some good help.
Did you say anything?
At first, we didn't know who on earth said that. We looked all over, and then we saw him. What a strange little fellow he was. Where he came from, who he was, what he wanted, we had no idea. But he certainly was there.
Well, did you say you'd give anything for some good help?
Why, yes, I guess I did say that.
Good. Then I'll go to work for you, and when I'm through, you'll give me anything I want in the store.
Yes, certainly. But what can you do?
You just watch me. Just watch me.
My, you should have seen that little fellow go to work. Mercy, he worked so fast, why, we could hardly keep up with him. And night and day he worked away, doing this and that and everything. He stopped only for two things, to eat a little bread now and then, and to listen to the carolers.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let everything again. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing.
And one day, as he was listening to the choir, a little girl came up to our window. He could tell that she wanted something inside. We didn't know what the two were so interested in, but they seemed to get along famously, and they became fast friends, for every day she returned when the carolers were there, and every day the elf talked to her. And on we worked, and never before had we made so many toys and had such good business. But wouldn't you know that Mr. Little got worried because everything was going so well. He was worried about what he would have to pay our little elf friend for all his work. After all, he had promised him anything.
Oh, maybe he'll take all our profits.
Well, you can see that Mr. Little was really worried. In those days, he was quite a worrisome person. But everything seemed to go on smoothly. The elf worked harder than ever. And the carolers came every day with their songs. And the little girl came to stare in the window.
When will the ever-circling year shall come upon mortal? When new heaven and earth shall own the Prince of Peace, the King. When the whole world sends back the song which now the angels sing.
And finally, Christmas Eve came. And what a day that was. We sold just about everything in the shop. And our tireless little friend had helped us every minute. While we were sitting there, talking about our good fortune, we had a visitor outside our window. We didn't see her, but you can bet our friend the elf did. And suddenly...
I want my pay!
Well, you can imagine how this startled Mr. Little. he finally managed to mutter.
Yes, certainly. What would you like?
You said I could have anything in the shop. So I want the big doll in the window.
The doll? Yes, well, yes, of course. The doll. She is yours.
I was just a little surprised, too. And I could hardly believe my eyes as Mr. Little gave him the doll. And the funny little fellow stood there with that big, beautiful toy in his arms.
So, my friends, I've been well paid. Thank you, and Merry Christmas!
We were both speechless, to say the least. And before we knew it, the little elf was gone.
This I cannot believe. He worked so hard, and for only a doll. I do not understand. I must follow him to see what he does with it.
And that's exactly what Mr. Little did. Follow that little man out into the street. And when Mr. Little came inside the church, he saw what the elf was going to do with the doll. He was going to give it to the little girl. And when she saw the beautiful doll, she could hardly believe her eyes. Here was just what she'd always wanted. She couldn't speak, but the elf knew this would be her happiest Christmas. And all at once, Mr. Little was beginning to find out something new about Christmas. Like so many of us, he was terribly busy with the buying and selling, building and wrapping, working and planning for this busy time of year, that he had forgotten about some of the other things of Christmas, like giving and thinking of the happiness of others, and thinking, too, about the real meaning of Christmas. He never found the little elf again, but Mr. Little found Christmas.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let everything again. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.
Yes, Mr. Little was a new man after that night. He came out of the church with a wonderful feeling of joy and peace. As he walked along the street, he thought of the many things he would do to help make people happy, not only on Christmas, but every day of the year. And when he came home, he couldn't hold it back any longer.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone.
And so you see, that's what Mr. Little thinks about whenever he hears the carolers in the street.
Yes, children, they taught me that there's a great deal more to Christmas than selling toys. And I've never forgotten it. And don't you forget it either.
And that, children, is the story of the elf and Mr.